Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch. Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
People even calling me, asking me about him. You know, and I don't know him from a can of paint. He even mentioned my name, saying that I know. I know what I know. I don't know what he knows. But I do know this, that...
Let me spill this real quick. Something wild just went down. Picture this: Jay-Z, the icon of chill and control, just lost it in front of everyone. No headlines could have prepared us. The man known for always playing it cool broke down emotions raw. No mask, no filter. Think Superman with no cape caught in the storm. No one expected it. The streets are buzzing. But the real mystery, what pushed him to the edge, what's really going on behind those designer shades? Trust, there's more to uncover.
My opinion. And it seems to make a lot of people upset, you know, but then a lot of people love my opinion. That's why you bring me on here. And I really appreciate that, brother. I just want to say this before we get started, Art, is that, you know, a lot of people think I came here to bring a black man down. And that's what I hear in the comments a whole lot. But it was nothing like that. You know, a black man didn't cuss a dead man's mother out. A black man didn't set his friends up and put them in a situation where they couldn't come home to their families no more. A black man didn't reach back and help the people that helped them make it up the ladder. It was Puffy. You know what I'm saying? I got tired of Puffy going on different platforms talking about how he loved the people that we was all with, how he loved the people that helped him, when in fact, none of that stuff was true. So my whole thing about it is, man, I appreciate your platform for letting me, you know, voice my opinion. And like I said, opinions like an asshole. Some of these cats out here get paid for their asshole. I get paid to give my opinion.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I mean, yeah, you just on here giving your opinion, man. I mean, you was one of the people that was real close to the situation, so why not?
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So with that being said, right, the last interview me and you did was a day after the raid. And when you look at everything now, man, how you feel about everything? It's been like a week, you know, you knowing Diddy, you being around Diddy. Could you ever imagine that his houses would get raided for sex trafficking?
Bruh, you can't imagine no stuff like that. You understand? You can't think that, because back then, he wasn't Brother Love. He was Puffy. All the way up until he became Diddy. So his behavior over the years...
Right. Let's keep this fire burning. What's really going on with Jay-Z? The streets say it's deeper than just a rough day. Let's rewind. Growing up in the Marcy projects wasn't soft, and no amount of platinum plaques erases that kind of past. That kind of pressure, it lingers, at the non-stop grind to stay on top of a cutthroat industry. And you've got a recipe for serious mental weight. People have whispered for years about cracks in the foundation, his marriage, the pressure of the legacy, and that infamous elevator moment with Solange that was just the surface shaking. There's a whole storm brewing underneath.
Is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
And shout out D Haven. He actually hit us up, wanted to tell this story.
You need to talk to D Haven.
Yeah, we need to talk to him.
I told you that last year when I put you on the phone with him.
You did.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it.
Now let's talk Queen Bee being married to music. Royalty sounds iconic, but let's be real, that kind of pressure is next level. Living in Beyond's orbit is both a blessing and a storm. Had 3 kids, a global empire, and a non-stop spotlight that's not just a life. It's a balancing act on a tight trope. And the industry, it doesn't pause for mental health. You're expected to be untouchable. But even giants crack. Maybe what we saw wasn't weakness, but a man who's carried too much for too long, his past, his fame, his fears, finally tipping over.
Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
So, Jack, when you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Kathy White.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, who died of an imaginary fucking aneurysm. Just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote the book Bling and died as soon as it made the bestsellers list. Who the fuck was these people supposed to go to? You can't go to the boss because the boss is fucking you. And the boss's boss don't get no fuck. Can't go to the authorities. They're all bought and paid for. You could try to get a special prosecutor, but they'll just pay somebody to reassign him to another case. Where the fuck you go when you get f***ed over by the industry? Nowhere. That's where you go nowhere, which is where people like me step in. You right, I go to Diddy parties to walk mother out, cause ain't nobody stopping me when I come.
So let me ask you, because I look at Gabriel Union, and when you mention things like Jay-Z's time is coming for him, then I look at Beyonce. And I say that, women do have
that country album, and any of you that buy that shit stupid as shit.
You don't give it no
trap music with goddamn a holster and a pad.
And maybe this breakdown is exactly what Jay-Z needed sometimes. You've got to hit rock bottom to see the way back up behind those iconic shades. There's more than fashion. There's weight history. Maybe even secrets we haven't uncovered yet. But make no mistake, this isn't the end of Jay-Z's saga. It's the turning. Point to new chapters unfolding and you already know we'll be watching every moment of it. Tell me why that classic Stand By, Your Man Don't Act Like You Don't Know That remake, that Stand By. That's a real country hit, Jolene. Nice, but it has a ring to it, Stand By Your Man. Yeah, whoops, and disrespect you with other, like Kathy Carana White, music. All right. Well, let's do it. Like this was actually carrying his baby while you was spanking it, while your husband don't want to put his seed inside of you and put it in everybody else wild in this world. Yo, it's funny. You open up Beyonce's internet. It just gets weird. Beyonce's internet, that's what we're calling it, that belongs to the devil. Unless you calling that the devil. She ain't nothing but employee a half a witch dumb ass. So you know it's funny that it's crazy. You say these things how nobody wanted that. I think she said he went and killed the girl Cats. Okay, a girl went to court and charged her with extreme witchcraft. She was hypnotized. She was drugged. Beyonce came and she was in there eating on her, and while she was asleep, snacking on his Diddy and killing people cats. And guess what? They wouldn't give her a restraining order. They just told her to stay away from Beyonce and work for somebody else. Guess what? She's having a hard time finding work too, which is interesting because she's a brilliant musician and she was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music, handpicked by my very good friend Terry Lynn Carrington. Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew No's idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't. Know your daughter well enough because she just started Girl. You won't believe the explosion that followed Jay-Z's breakdown. Everyone is talking about it, the streets are humming, and it seems like everyone stopped to watch Huff cry when that video appeared online. It was like adding gasoline to a fire. This tea kept everyone up for days. But here's the thing. Celebrities were jumping in left and right to show love for Jay-Z. Everyone from Diddy to Rihanna was posting supportive messages. Twitter went wild, Instagram was, and even TikTok couldn't keep up with all the reactions. Some people were shaking like, is this for real? Others were all, poor Jake, he needs help. And then there were those haters, the type, saying it was all for publicity. Why did that house burn up? Who the Iku goes to their childhood house for a visit, and the Iku goes up in flames. That was very weird. The next day within the week, and no, the next day, and still no real investigation on how the house just went up in flames, man. I guess they paid y'all off like they paid y'all off for that Astro World. So let me ask you, Texas politics. Yeah, Texas politics, man. This say. Right there, we're going to talk about the episode. But for right now, I just got to get your take on when we see a Killer Mike win 3 Grammys and get arrested immediately after because Jay-Z paid somebody up just so he couldn't have a good night, you Sean. Hey man, weirdo, I don't give no what you got in your head. That neural link, you'll never outthink me ever. All I do is frustrate your AI. You can't quantify me. You can't even control your wife. You going to handle it okay. Like me. You can't even control that goofy. Ikoki. You should have did a better job. Maybe she wouldn't have had to lose her mind on Kathy because you ain't protecting you. You're protecting her girl. You won't believe the chaos that hit after Jay-Z's breakdown went viral. The internet exploded like someone lit a match in a gas station. That video everywhere. The streets couldn't stop buzzing. Cuds rushed in with love. Diddy, Rihanna, you name it. Twitter, meltdown. Instagram, flooded. Even TikTok couldn't keep up. Some folks were stunned. Others were emotional. And of course the skeptics showed up claiming it was all a stunt, but real or not, the world couldn't look away. Jay, okay. That's why it's Rock Nation, music. Hey, wow. I'ma tell everybody about Big L Sean. Big L. I would just rather do it on the stand. Sean, please sue me. I want to go to court, and I want to talk about Big L on the stand. Wow, what's your thoughts about Dame Dash? Dame Dash got Weechu over by somebody who was supposed to be his friend, so this Big L is associated. Big L is the one that put Jay-Z on Wow. Jay-Z was the last person to see Big L alive. Music, wait. So this Big L person is not living on this earth. No, more. He's been dead for years. His death made it possible for reasonable doubt to live. Whoa, see how good I keep secrets. Sean, and I'm going to tell you something else, and I'll give you this. You'd think Jay-Z's team would have jumped in fast dropping, statements spinning the story. But when they finally spoke, it was the usual vague stuff about personal matters and privacy. Please, we all want the real story. Meanwhile, the industry lit up, even Canny. Yes, that Canny sent love. It felt like hip-hop. Hit. Pause to act, Jay. We've always seen him as the untouchable king, always composed. Now we're watching him break down in public. It's surreal. Like seeing Superman cry. Some say this moment might actually help him showing the world he's human too. Others think it risks his edge either way. The game just changed the talk shows with Oprah that we went through and Dr. Phil and stuff like that, even Ricky Lake and all of that. We realized that it wasn't so cool messing with the underage young ladies. I never had attraction for someone younger. I always looked and had attraction for older women, so I probably didn't have that problem, but then everybody that I with